Welcome back to Soul Screen, the place where we don't just talk about K-dramas, we feel them, overthink them, and argue about them like our lives depend on it. Today, we need to talk about a poster that honestly stopped me mid-scroll. I'm talking about SBS's upcoming fantasy romance No Tale to Tell, starring Hye Yoon and Lomon. And no, this is not just another cute poster dropped, let's move on situation. This poster changes the entire emotional temperature of what we thought this drama was going to be. At first glance, No Tale to Tell already sounded fun. A Gen Z Gumiho who absolutely does not want to become human, paired with a world-class soccer player who has basically lived life on easy mode. Fantasy romance, opposites attract, chaos ensues. We've seen the setup before. But then this poster drops, and suddenly the story feels heavier, softer, and way more dangerous emotionally than expected. Let's start with Hye Yoon's character, Eun Ho. She's not your traditional tragic Gumiho longing to be human. In fact, she's the complete opposite. She avoids small acts of kindness because she doesn't want to accidentally turn human. She avoids big mistakes because she doesn't want to lose her 1,000-year powers. This already tells us something important about her mindset. Eun Ho isn't chasing transformation. She's chasing control. Control over her identity, her fate, and her emotions. And if you think about it, that's actually very Gen Z coded. The fear of being pushed into a version of yourself that you didn't choose. The fear of expectations. The fear of losing who you are just because society says you should want something else. Eun Ho has spent 900 years in the human world without becoming human, and that alone makes her fascinating. That's discipline. That's emotional walls stacked higher than a fortress. Now enter Kang Si Yeol, played by Lomon, a world-class soccer player, center forward for a top overseas club, confident, hardworking, successful. On paper, his life is perfect, and we all know what that means in drama language. Perfect life equals impending emotional collapse. Characters like him don't meet magical foxes by accident. They meet them because something in their perfectly structured life is about to break. What I find interesting is that Kang Si Yeol isn't described as lazy or arrogant in a shallow way. He's confident, but never lazy. That distinction matters. It suggests he's earned his confidence, which means when he falls, emotionally or otherwise, it's going to hurt more. And when someone like that opens their arms, literally and emotionally, it's not just romantic, it's symbolic. Now let's talk about the poster itself, because wow. Eun Ho is resting in Kang Si Yeol's arms, not standing beside him, not glaring at him, not running away. Resting. That alone is a huge shift in dynamic. For a character who avoids kindness like it's poison, being held like that is massive. And then there's the tail. Her white tail openly visible wrapping around them. This is not a subtle reveal. This is Eun Ho fully exposed in her true identity, at least emotionally. The tail isn't hidden. It's not a secret anymore. And if you know Gumiho lore, tails are deeply symbolic. They represent power, age, identity, and vulnerability. Showing it like this means something irreversible has already happened between these two. What really got me, though, was Eun Ho's expression. The description says it's tender and wistful, something never seen before in her. And that's where the real danger lies. Not in magic, not in curses, not in destiny, but in emotion. That look says she's already crossed a line she promised herself she wouldn't cross. So here's my question to you. Do you think Eun Ho falling in love is more dangerous for her than actually becoming human? Because to me, that's the real conflict of this drama. Becoming human is just a consequence. Falling in love is the trigger. I also love how the poster hints at fate without screaming it. It talks about how her 900-year life will change after meeting Kang Si Yeol. Not because she wants it to, not because she chooses it, but because some connections are unavoidable. And isn't that the most frustrating and romantic thing ever? Now let's talk about chemistry, because Hye Yoon has a very specific strength as an actress. She excels at characters who look chaotic on the outside, but are emotionally complex underneath. She can switch from quirky to heartbreaking in a single glance, and this poster is already proof of that. There's softness, fear, longing, and hesitation, all wrapped into one expression. Lomon, on the other hand, brings a grounded physicality. He looks like someone who exists firmly in the human world. Strong, confident, present. That contrast matters. a supernatural being who avoids attachment, held by someone who is fully human and unafraid to take up space. That's visual storytelling done right. But here's something I want to challenge. Do you think Kang Si Yeol is really as emotionally confident as he seems? Or is he just someone who has mastered discipline and success, but not intimacy? Because world-class athletes often live extremely controlled lives. Schedules, training, expectations. Meeting someone like Eun Ho, who exists outside all of that, could be just as destabilizing for him as he is for her. The drama's premise says they attempt to save one another, not just one saving the other. That implies mutual rescue. And I'm very curious what saving actually means here. Is Eun Ho saving Kang Si Yeol from burnout, pressure, or emotional emptiness? Is Kang Si Yeol saving Eun Ho from isolation and fear of connection? Or are they both unknowingly leading each other towards something irreversible? Fantasy romances often fall into the trap of making one character the lesson and the other the learner. I really hope No Tale to Tell avoids that. From what we see so far, it feels more balanced. Two people with very different fears colliding at exactly the wrong or right time. Also, can we talk about the title for a second? No Tale to Tell. It's clever. It sounds like no tale to tell, as in no story, no confession, no secret. But here we are with a poster that literally shows her tale. So what happens when there is no longer no tale to tell? When the truth is out, what's left to protect? This makes me wonder if the drama will explore the idea that hiding yourself is sometimes more dangerous than revealing yourself. Eun Ho has survived 900 years by hiding, but surviving is not the same as living. And that's a theme that hits hard, especially for viewers who feel like they're constantly holding parts of themselves back to fit in. The premiere date is January 16th at 9:50 p.m. KST, which honestly feels perfect. Early year dramas often set the emotional tone for what kind of stories we'll be obsessed with for the rest of the year. And this one feels like it's going to sneak up on people. It looks light, quirky, fantasy romance fun, but the emotional undercurrent feels deep. So let me ask you this. Are you more excited for the fantasy aspect, the romance, or the character psychology? Because for me, it's the emotional risk. I want to see how a character who has avoided kindness for centuries learns to accept it without fear. And I want to see how someone who has everything learns what he's been missing. Do you think Eun Ho will regret letting herself feel? Or will the real regret be all the years she didn't? And do you think Kang Si Yeol will be her anchor or her temptation? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this feels like one of those dramas where theories are going to be half the fun. Are you ready for another iconic Kim Hye Yoon performance? Do you think Lomon is about to have his career-defining role? And most importantly, are you prepared to emotionally invest in a Gumiho who never wanted to be human, but might want love? This is Soul Screen, and I'll see you in the next one.